What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boy oh boy, there's been so much information I wanted to go ahead and discuss. We got things coming out about EA and Battlefield. Obviously, I wanted to discuss Arc Raiders on this channel. But every single time I'm about to go ahead and create these videos, more insane information drops about Call of Duty. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. We are going to get to that content, and I'm also going to be touching upon the anti-cheat, situation within Call of Duty as well. But all of this stuff has to be pushed back because we got some information about how basically Call of Duty is handling itself, and it's not looking too pretty. As you guys can see right here over on Twitter from Charlie Intel, Activision has been unable to keep players engaged in Call of Duty this year, with Black Ops 6 post-launch seeing a decline in players. And it showcases all the Call of Duty games from Modern Warfare 2022 up to current date. Call of Duty March 2022, 22.4 million players. Call of Duty March 2023, 20.8 million players. And then current date for Black Ops 6 is 20.6 million players. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, oh, that's only 2 million players. That's barely even a decrease. But ladies and gentlemen, the reason this news is so insane to me personally is the fact that this year specifically, with Black Ops 6 and Microsoft picking up this whole franchise, they are finally introducing this game over to Game Pass, which is absolutely massive. The mass majority of players who are playing on Xbox or even PC are literally playing COD through Game Pass. That was one of the biggest deals for Microsoft. They even went ahead and raised the price of Game Pass because of Call of Duty. It was a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. This was huge. And if there was ever a better time for Call of Duty to bring in as many players as possible, now is the time. All of my friends, every single one of them, who play on an Xbox literally own Game Pass. Game Pass is probably one of the most consumer-friendly things we have seen in ages. And I'll be honest, during this time of, game prices being hiked up and stuff like that, I think Game Pass is going to be a godsend for a lot of individuals to be able to play a good amount of games for a reasonable enough price instead of paying like $100 per each game. So, as I was stating, a lot of people have it. Game Pass isn't like some, niche thing that's going on. No. Game Pass is huge, absolutely massive. They should have saw an increase. They had Treyarch coming into the scene. Treyarch is a massive, studio. Everybody loves them. They're going ahead and continuing the Black Ops name. Yet and still, they couldn't even surpass the player count of Modern Warfare 3 2023, which was literally considered DLC. Could you imagine the numbers right now? If Call of Duty was not put on Game Pass, if you could not install this game, download this game, blah, 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 whatever, if you could not do any of that through Game Pass, how bad would the numbers actually look right now? Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know exactly why the numbers are decreasing, but I did come up with a few ideas on, what's going on here. And I would love for you guys to leave your opinions down in the comment section as well for why you guys personally think Call of Duty is on a massive decline. First and foremost, I believe the content, the way that they are pushing out content to the player base is just getting worse and worse and worse. And not too many people are feeling any reason to come back into the experience. If you're telling me a game that, like I said, is put on Game Pass and has all the freedom, because Modern Warfare 3 didn't get on Game Pass right away, right? That came afterwards. Black Ops 6 and then all the other games. Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2 2022, everything starts to slowly trickle onto Game Pass. But Modern Warfare 3 wasn't. The fact that Modern Warfare 3 retained more players without all of those advantages over Black Ops 6 says something massive to me, in my personal opinion. Secondly, skill-based matchmaking and how the developers are handling these games. Let's be honest here. Current gen Call of Duty is beyond sweaty. I've been revisiting XDefiant, and again, I will be playing it today over on stream starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys can check out a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video if you're, craving a little nostalgia trip of the XDefiant days. But I've been playing XDefiant consistently. The game is literally on its deathbed. I'm finding games quickly, like in no time whatsoever, literally seconds. And at the same time, there's variety. I'm versing people that I get to stomp out. I'm getting equal fights. I'm getting people who are obliterating me. I'm literally versing people who are like, top 1% of players on XDefiant. But the variety is there. I'm playing a full mix, and it's enjoyable. And that goes for pretty much every game that I play now. XDefiant, Battlefield, even some of the extraction shooters. It's just variety within the gameplay, whereas COD, you hop on, and it's literally ranked. I'm not lying. It is a ranked experience. If you go into ranked, you will have the same gameplay experience as pubs. The only difference is that ranked is 4 players and pubs is 6 players. It's disgusting. And I definitely think that is pushing away players from the overall franchise. And on top of that, like I said earlier, the developers aren't polishing these games. They don't care. You know, the love and passion, soul, and all of these titles are non-existent because they're too busy worried about the next game. Black Ops 6 for a perfect example. They're too busy focusing on BO7 that literally BO6 is 3 seasons deep and it's in the worst spot it's ever been in. People could barely play the title to the point where they're ditching the game altogether. That shouldn't be happening. These teams should be prioritizing their game that they're putting out and then go on a break. And honestly, if it means that this franchise needs to go on a 2 to 3 year, life cycle of, games dropping instead of a yearly drop rate, then it should happen. But we all know how Activision rocks and rolls, and more than likely that's not going to happen. And the third thing I thought of is it going to be a little controversial. I don't think too many people are going to agree with this, but I still wanted to throw it out there because I thought it was an interesting topic to discuss. The community doesn't like the direction the game is going in. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this is true or false. All of these statements I made, I don't know if it's true or false. I don't know if skill-based matchmaking in the game is making people leave. I don't know if the developer's not giving a crap is making people leave. I don't know. I'm just throwing out my ideas. But I genuinely think that maybe, just maybe, people don't like the direction that Call of Duty is heading to just being a very fast-paced, cracked-out game, But every single time the developers try to bring back an OG-feeling Call of Duty game, the community complains it's too slow. It's no slide canceling. It's not fast enough. This is boring, tedious. Every single time, to the point where now we have games like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6, which are quickened up a ton compared to, something like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, the OG, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, massive difference in pacing. But we got here because, like I said, I've watched it. We can say whatever we want to say, but I've literally watched this community complain about no slide canceling and not being fast enough every single time they remove these features for the whole year. So, I see people begging for it. But with the decline of players, it could be anything. Again, it could be skill-based matchmaking. It could be the developers. It could be, lack of content. It could be a lot of other things. But could it potentially be that we are indeed the vocal minority? It's not much going on here. We are very loud. But do the mass majority of the casual audience want that? Do they want having, slide canceling and never-ending sprinting and pushing people to... Do they actually want that? Or is it just the bubble that is kind of formed within Call of Duty after the jetpack era that is pushing for that agenda? And the rest of the casual audience is just kind of left there to trickle along behind and keep up if they can, or eventually they'll trickle off. And as we see with the player numbers, it seems they're trickling off. Are people genuinely tired with what we have nowadays and they want something classic? I don't know. Because again, when they present something classic, people complain. But Modern Warfare 2 2022 had way more players than both Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6. So I don't know. Again, I had my complaints with Modern Warfare 2, but they definitely did try to slow down the pace. And maybe people wanted that. Just another example I'm throwing out there. And again, I would love to hear your opinions about this take down below. But last but not least, I do want to mention this. I don't think we will ever see Activision truly care about these player numbers, though. I don't think player numbers matter much to them, and that is the issue that we have here. We can discuss this topic as much as we want. We can go down the comment section and, have debates about what will make COD better and what, makes it worse, and none of it will ever be prioritized because they make so much money, and mostly specifically through the microtransactions. As you can see right here from Detonated, an analytics engineer at Activision stated, Black Ops 6 is Activision's highest grossing title on LinkedIn. So despite numbers continuously falling, despite knowing that literally Game Pass probably saved this game just to scrape it by to equal out to the player count of Modern Warfare 3, knowing that if Game Pass wasn't a thing, it would probably be way lower, despite all of that, they made so much cash off of it. Not just the base game, but again, the microtransactions. So let me ask you, why would they care? Why would they care if players are slowly, bleeding away, if they can milk them for more and more and more each year for the ones who do stick around? You see what I'm saying here? That's why, personally, I'm ready to branch out, man. There's plenty of other games dropping soon. I'm very excited to try them out and cover them, make content, because as much as I love this franchise, as much as I want to see Call of Duty thrive and become better, I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. this game is going to have to continuously bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed for years and years and years until it gets to the point where Activision's like, oh, shit, this game is freaking dying, we're not making any more cash. But at this moment, they could probably lose another million. They could probably lose another 2 million. I guarantee the people who are left at 18 million, 17 million, 16, 15, who knows? I guarantee those who are still in that bunch will spend triple, quadruple the price. And I guarantee, like we discussed before with how it seems Activision is, trying to contemplate on how they're going to change a few things around, in terms of microtransactions. I wouldn't be shocked if they start raising prices just to compensate for the lack of players and keep the train on going, because that's what Call of Duty is now. It's a cash cow. It's a household name, so it makes bank every year. And they don't want to try to improve this. They don't actually want to hold on to this and see how long they can extend Call of Duty and give it a good reputation. They're more so trying to figure out how long can they milk it until they have to start, seriously wondering what they need to do next. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go like that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.